It's cancer. It's like the tobacco. Everybody knows that it's harmful, okay? But in the 70s...
These clothes might come from somewhere in Bangladesh where people are doing in a sweatshop.
These interactions of mine are meant to educate and train other vegan activists like myself. These interactions are not perfect. It's a constant evolution. My videos are for you vegans to critique me and help me improve my interactions. And hopefully these videos are also for you to learn from my interactions, to encourage you to do street activism.
Yes.
I'm showing the behind the scenes of the industries that abuse animals.
Following from yesterday, here is the part 2 in which this second man in a row coincidentally also debated sweatshops and his guilty demand of supply. If any smoking members of the public are watching this, we know you are inconsiderate about the life of animals, but please consider that street activists don't want to breathe your smoke while making a plea for the voiceless. For some reason, these two guys were also especially close to Marcus, but the final third guy wanted his face excluded, so we can respect that tomorrow.
It's like the dairy industry, the egg industries, which are the meat industry. So all the animals that you see here, it's horrific, yes? So if it's not good enough for your eyes, how come it's good enough for your stomach? Because I guess you eat animals, or maybe not.
What makes you guess so? I tell you, I'm just curious.
I'm just guessing. Are you eating animals, yes or no?
Yes.
Exactly. So if it's not good enough for your eyes, how come it's got good enough for your stomach? This is the question I'm asking you.
It's a very fair question to ask, and I think it's an important question to ask.
It's a very important question to ask, exactly.
I think it's a very important question that all of society should ask itself much
Exactly.
more deeply, because we're terraforming this planet.
Yeah.
I mean, 70% of the biomass on Earth is our livestock now.
Exactly.
It's absurd.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly.
We're committing genocide, basically.
Exactly.
So I think it's a very, 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 very difficult, deep-rooted, and historically very long topic.
Yeah.
And I think it absolutely needs a complete re-evaluation.
Exactly.
So you're still curious because you asked me why is it good enough for not good enough for my eyes and good enough.
Because it doesn't make any sense, obviously, especially.
I tell you why it makes sense for me right now.
Okay.
So you can learn different perspectives from different people that you ultimately want to reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a long time without, and I did eat fish. Fish, what can I do? No, it's healthy. It's very good for the health.
Well, fish is also an animal, and they also have the capacity to suffer. But before you go on, and I'll be very pleased that you explain all these things after I'll tell you something else. Everybody knows, and you too, because I just talked to you for a few minutes, but you don't seem to be dumb. Obviously, you're an intelligent person. Everybody knows, especially in 2024, that it's absolutely unnecessary to eat animals and to eat their secretions, aka ovulations and dairy. I'm vegan, I'm not dead. You have 88 million vegans in the world. You have vegan athletes, you have vegan bodybuilders, and you have athletes who don't give a shit about this, but they choose to have a whole plant-based diet to increase their athletic performance. Then you have other people that also... So therefore, if it's not necessary, it is unjustifiable to do this, yes or no?
All right.
That's the second question I'm asking you.
And to answer your question, you have to explain me what in your eyes would qualify as necessary.
Okay, it's necessary to drink water.
Yes.
If you don't drink water, you die eventually,
Yes.
all right? But if you stop eating eggs and dairy and fish and the flesh of whatever animal, you don't die and you actually thrive, all right? That's why I'm telling you that I'm vegan and I'm not dead.
Okay. So, you asked me a question, there's a premise in the question, and I want to point out one part where that premise to me is not true. If you allow me to continue my story that I shared. So for quite a time, I ate without meat, and these were some of the reasons why, not the only ones. Climate, environment, like all the consumerism, like complete detachment from nature, like kind of industrialization of nature to serve us. All of it, right? And I love animals in the sense of, dogs and kind of...
You love dogs and cats, but you could not give...
Can I continue?
Yeah.
Please? Thank you.
Okay.
And turtles and birds, I love birds and birds,
Sorry.
right?
Yeah.
So, at the same time, I recently reintroduced meat again, more strongly, because I've been reading and hearing from people on different sides of the spectrum, including doctors and others, that, for some it actually is beneficial health-wise.
Yeah.
and because of the high bioavailability of the nutrients.
Yes.
And so I tried, and I'm telling you right now, like,
Yes.
I'm feeling just health-wise right now better. And it's very saddening to me because I'm aware of what the consequences to this means. So I'm in a dilemma between what can I do kind of to meet seemingly my individual body's actually responding well, and I feel better, and I have less problems health-wise.
Okay.
Then, okay. That's one, and to me, health is extremely important, right? Because when you talk about thriving, humans can thrive when they're healthy. Agreed? When you're sick, you cannot thrive. But the other hand, how to kind of so when I eat meat, I buy organic.
No, but then please,
I buy selected meat.
please allow me to interrupt you now, because you brought something that was not well understood at the beginning. I'm showing organic. I'm showing free range. I'm showing no, but this is what. Okay, this is precisely why. This is precisely why.
No matter how it's raised,
I want
it's still being slaughtered. Is that
to understand why I'm here.
So, because you're saying, regardless of what the life it was before, organic or grass-fed, or in a stall, it all gets to the moment where they
Exactly.
Okay.
And so, if it's unnecessary to eat animals, then it becomes unjustifiable to do so. Yes or no?
You're going back to the same question, even though I just told you that I cannot answer your question because I don't share the premise of what you say necessary, because unjustifiable results and outcomes necessary. Look, what is necessary? To me, my health is important.
Precisely.
To me, my health is important.
Animal protein in itself causes cancer. How can you tell me that eating animals is healthy?
Where do you have your information?
Well, the information is on the internet, so you have the same information that I have.
The only information that I have is from the WHO, which clearly says that processed is causing cancer.
Okay, so do you have to wait for this institution, or whatever you want to call it, the WHO, to tell you someday, because they will eventually, that animal protein in itself causes cancer? It's like the tobacco. Everybody knows that it's harmful, okay? But in the 70s, the tobacco industry, they were paying scientists to pay about their products. But now things have changed. So you'll have to wait until the WHO tells you something so obvious,
okay,
right? I mean, it doesn't sound very rational.
Look, from my perspective, the rationality to it, I see a different lens to it. Okay, tobacco is not something that we humans would need to survive. It's not food. It became a drug, it became an addiction, and now it's been capitalized upon. But food, we always need it. And
yes, but you don't need to eat animals.
Please. I'm pretty certain that in our evolutionary history, at least at some times and in some areas, if not all, they were eating animals too. I'm not saying only, but it was, like the idea of hunter-gatherers didn't stem from nowhere, right? And we have paintings where people go on hunting tribes, So yes, it's plausible that they hunted to kind of survive. And meat has a high bioavailability of nutrients, right? But back then it was animals that were in nature, and you had to have skin in the game. You had to go there and be able to kill the animal, go through it emotionally and physically, and then you ate it or brought it back to a tribe. Now we detached, and that's the problem of capitalism. We separated a product, and now this becomes the product in the supermarket, from the value chain, what capitalism called it, but actually ultimately from the processing chain, material-wise, that it went through. And people are completely detached of what they're consuming is coming from somewhere. In this case, it's coming from, unfortunately, animals who are caged somewhere. But these clothes might come from somewhere in Bangladesh where people are doing in a sweatshop. There's like a whole range of things where we're detached from what we consume is coming from, originated from. And it's a problem of capitalism. It just is just here. This has been. The livestock is capital. You can book it on your balance sheet. Can you just think of what that means?
Is there anything I could say?
It's crazy.
Is there anything I could say to you that might interest you?
That might what?
Is there anything I could say to you that might interest you?
That might interest me. Why are you doing this?
Okay, I'm doing this for you to stop killing animals. And there are two kinds of people that stop talking to me. The ones who watch this and they feel absolutely outraged, and they say, I didn't know this, and so now I am going to stop financing this, and I'm going vegan. That's why I'm spending 12 hours a day doing this, because a lot of people watch this, talk to me.
12 hours a day.
I ask them a few questions, which I didn't ask you yet, because I'm following a little protocol. It takes less than a couple of minutes. I'm asking them questions so they come to their own conclusions. I cannot force you and anybody else to stop killing animals. So I'm just asking questions, and people then realize if they're aligning the moral values with their actions. And most importantly, is for people to realize if they're being honest with themselves and with me. And most people are not about this subject in particular. So we have these two kinds of people. The ones who watch this, they feel outraged and they go vegan. And the ones who, the animal abusers, if you allow me to, who have no intentions whatsoever to stop abusing animals, especially after talking to me, who are trying to justify and defend their animal consumption with the most ridiculous and dishonest arguments.
Sorry. Did you hear anything that I said? Is like
You just
did you think it's
basically you just no. I'm just telling you what you asked me what I'm doing here. I just explained it to you.
You
I
said
just
that-
answered your
but
question.
You said there are two types of people in your mind. So which type do I belong to?
I don't know. You must know.
Okay, I think I belong to neither, because each of my
That's the
arguments-
most
hear me
dishonest
out,
answer
please.
you can give me.
It's
You're either against animal abuse or you're not. You cannot be in the middle.
I think it's
So
not-
that was a really dishonest
no,
answer.
No. It is dishonest in your perspective because your perspective implies black and white.
Exactly.
My perspective
When it
doesn't
comes
imply
when it
black
comes
and white.
animal abuse, it's black and white. Obviously, if you were the victim instead of victimizer, it would be black and white. If I said to you, "Oh yeah, I'm against killing humans, but you know what? Today I'm going to kill your leg," yeah, I don't think you would be very glad about that. So basically, what you said to me is that you're not going to stop killing animals because you think
killing
that killing animals
not
is
killing
healthy.
them.
Okay, so let me ask the questions if you allow me to.
They're killing them.
So there are two kinds of people that work in here.
Yeah.
You have the usually immigrants who have
Yeah.
no papers. They have a really hard time doing this job because this is horrific.
Yeah.
And the first cause of suicides, and the first cause of drug addiction, and the first cause of alcoholism and domestic violence are these people who work here and have a hard time. Then we have the other ones, the
When you say the first
psychopaths.
cause- wait a second. When you say the first cause, there are like statistical correlation to demonstrate it. There's data on this.
I didn't understand what you said, sorry.
There's data on this. There's like
Yes, you can do your research after talking to me if you're really interested, yes.
Okay.
And then everything is on the internet. It's up to you to. I'm not here for you to believe everything I say necessarily.
And I don't-
I want you to question everything I
do-
say.
Look, before you say anything else, just to like, I don't believe I fit into any of these categories of people that you ever talk to for one reason, and I think it's important that you know. I believe, right? Because I can see you being impatient. I'm already thinking your argument's true.
Because you have to understand that
I
people who
already
have no
understood.
intentions to stop killing animals, it's exactly the same things that you say. You have to understand this. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm just telling you the truth, you know.
Who of these people was debating champion?
Debating
Who
champion.
of these people you ever stopped was a debating champion?
I am not here to debate with
Do
anyone.
you know what debating is?
I'm not here to debate.
Do you know what it is?
Tell me, give me your version of debating.
Debating in tournaments, it's done between teams, like football teams, just debate teams.
Okay.
And they go into debates
Yes.
where they're fighting with arguments
All right.
as a team against the other team to win
Okay.
an audience.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to ask
Can
you a few
please
questions.
listen?
Okay.
I mean, I'm curious to what you have to say, but
All right.
I think a good advice for you would
Okay.
be to listen more.
All right.
Because I'm telling you what I want to tell for a reason.
Okay. What is that reason?
The reason is I used to be debating champion.
Oh, I see.
So that is, in a way, my mind is trained.
So that's why you want to debate with me. Now I
No,
understand.
No, that's not the reason why I want to debate with
Oh,
you.
okay.
You're assuming too much.
All
You're
right.
already assuming a lot of me where you believe it's to be true, but it's not the truth.
Well, I know for certain that after talking to me, you will not stop consuming animal products. I wish I was wrong, but I'm absolutely convinced about this.
Look, if you already make your mind up about people,
It doesn't matter
and
what I think.
what they do in the future.
It doesn't matter what I
How
think.
do you ever believe they will change?
It doesn't
You
matter
see,
what I
you're
think.
You're not consistent with your own argument.
It doesn't matter what I think.
It doesn't matter.
What
you're
matters
going
is
for 12
You will,
years, man.
consume animal products after talking to me. That's what matters to me.
And look,
And that's what
and
matters to you.
no,
But it doesn't matter. It
because
doesn't. It's
no,
not
look,
important for you.
It is important to me to understand where you're coming from and what you see.
I already told you what I'm
Understand
doing here.
it. Yeah, and I listen to you. and
Well, not much.
I've been listening to everything you said.
Okay.
It's just like, don't believe you need to feed me with the same kind of protocol you mentioned that you feed regular people. It won't work on me.
Nothing will work on you.
It will
I'm
not.
convinced about it. You will not stop consuming animals.
The only thing,
Whatever I do,
look,
because you don't want to.
No, the only thing that will happen, that will work, is if you actually pay attention to what I say.
Okay, so I'm the reason why that you're killing animals. Yeah, I can see that.
Stop.
All right.
Listen to my arguments, listening to my narrative.
Why should I be interested about what you have to say to me when I know perfectly well what you are telling me?
And you see, how can you expect me to be interested in what you
Exactly.
have to say if you're not interested in what I have to say?
All right, because
you cannot.
I am the reason why.
Cannot.
I am the reason why
You
I'm the reason why you're consuming animal products.
No,
Obviously not. I'm not the cause.
you're not the cause.
Obviously
but you're
not.
not helping your cause. Right now, you're
If you
helping
wanted to
your
go
cause.
vegan, you would be vegan already. And you don't want
You
to,
seem
and that's
think
it.
in black and white and in labels. Okay.
All right.
I'm
Why
sorry
should
for
I?
You.
Okay.
I'm sorry for you that you can only perceive the world in labels.
You will
I'll
never
just try
ever
to-
stop slicing the throats of innocent, defenseless baby animals. Why? Because you don't want to, and
I
that's
don't
it.
slice their throats.
Okay.
These people do. Unfortunately, that
All right.
they do. I'm
So
sad for them.
I was,
I'm sad if it's
I was,
true.
I was following the protocol. You said you would listen to my 3 questions, and you have interrupted me. May I continue, please? If you're so interested about what
Where
I,
is this protocol coming from?
it's just a few questions that I'm
Where is
asking
this
you. That's
protocol
all.
coming from?
From my mind, my brain. Okay.
With what intention did you create the protocol?
Okay, you don't allowing me to ask you the questions before you said yes. Please ask me the questions, and you're interrupting me all the time. Why it's so
Wait a
difficult for
second.
you?
So just look. If you would ask me regular questions like a normal human being, I would answer them. But you already said you have a protocol, so you designed something.
Forget
that you
about the
thought
word
through.
protocol.
So I'm curious about what the protocol is before I answer these questions.
Three,
Is it fair?
3
Is it
questions.
fair?
Forget about the word protocol. I just want to ask you 3 questions. May I?
Go.
All right. So I was talking about the people working in these places. I
Can
told
you
you
put
about
this down? It makes me kind of
what down? What?
this
What?
the laptop.
No, I'm showing this to the people. People watch this. That's why I'm here.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, you see, you don't allow me to. Okay. Anyway, and so then we have the other ones. We have the psychopaths who enjoy doing this. You have plenty of videos on the internet. They are filming themselves while doing this because they enjoy doing this. So we have 2 kinds of people working in here. So obviously the other ones is human abuse, obviously, and then we have the other ones who choose to be here. So
do you
the
mean
question
the
I'm
other
asking
ones
you
are
is
human
the question.
What do you mean human abusers?
Well, it's human abuse in the sense that these people have been exploited and have a really hard time and have no papers and they're not well paid.
You mean they're being
And
the
they
ones
kill
abused?
themselves because this is horrific. This is what I wanted to say. But now I'm talking about the other ones. I'm talking about the psychopaths who enjoy doing this, right? So the question I'm asking you is, their bosses who pay them their salaries every month, are they as guilty as the psychopaths doing this? Yes or no?
Guilty in which sense?
If I wanted to kill you, and instead of killing you directly, I paid somebody else to do it, I would still be guilty, yes or no?
You'd be not guilty if you're not committing a crime.
Well, then you don't understand the law. If I kill you,
Yes.
and I pay somebody, if I want to kill you and I pay somebody else to kill you, I'm as guilty as the other person.
I understand the law.
Right.
I studied law. For
Exactly,
but
so-
killing animals is not against the law.
That's precisely it.
Depends
That's
on-
precisely it.
It depends on what you are and how you
That's
do
precisely it. So the question I'm asking you, please, is the following. I already asked you the question. Their bosses who pay them every month their salaries to these psychopaths, are they as guilty as them, yes or no?
it. They are as responsible as them.
Okay. And where the money comes from?
The company's money. They're for consumers.
The consumers, exactly. It comes from your pocket. So every time you buy cheese and eggs and meat and fish, you are directly responsible for this. So you're actually responsible for the killing of 92.2 billion land animals and 3 trillion marine animals. Because if it wasn't for your money, this would not exist. If the world would be vegan, this would not exist. Do you agree?
If the world would be vegan, this would
No, but I asked you another question before. Do you
Yeah,
agree that you're
I mean,
responsible for this, yes or no?
that I'm responsible for it.
Yes, because you're paying this.
Are you implying you who's not paying for this is not responsible?
I'm implying what?
Are you implying that someone like you who's not paying for this is not
Obviously, I'm
responsible?
not paying for this. I don't eat any animals. I don't eat any eggs. I don't eat any dairy. Obviously, I'm not paying for this.
Okay.
Obviously,
So
I'm vegan.
In your perspective, you are not responsible for this.
No, it's not my perspective.
Yeah.
It is the truth. I'm not here to give my perspective about anything. I'm not here to give my opinion about anything. I'm showing you the truth. And you asked me before, what are you doing here? And I said to you, I'm asking you a few questions. Then, from that point on, you see if you're aligning your moral values with your actions, and you realize if you're being honest with me. People are falling all the time. It's really pathetic. Jesus. So what happened here? The woman is still on the floor or what? What a lousy night.